guys, so it is Wine Wednesday, cheers to that, and today I am going to be telling you stories from when I used to smoke weed back in the day. Not promoting smoking weed at all, just my personal experience. And why I don't smoke anymore is because I used to get super paranoid and it was not a good time for me. But I did have some funny stories from when I used to smoke, so I thought I would share those with you and give you a little glimpse into my weird high school life. I just tried to do the try not to laugh challenge and it was not funny at all. I was like, this is bullshit. I guess I'll start out with the story of the mysterious earthquake. One of my best friends and I, we were smoking at her house, and this was like, I want to say this was like 3 years ago, and we're at her house and we smoked and we were both like pretty high, and out of nowhere we're sitting there and her whole house started shaking. And it wasn't like I was the only one who thought that, like, because sometimes when you're high you're like paranoid. She thought that too. We both, like, things were shaking in her house and we were like, oh my god, what the fuck is going on? Like, there's a fucking earthquake. We're freaking out because we live on the East Coast. We don't really get earthquakes too often. So the second it stops, it was going on for like a solid 10 seconds before the shaking stopped. And we looked on Facebook, we looked on our phones, we looked at the weather, like there was no report of an earthquake at all, like in our area. There was nothing, like, and it was shaking the house. Like, it was so fucking weird. And we never figured out what happened. Like, we asked her parents later on, we're like, was there like an earthquake earlier? We felt the house shake. And they were like, I don't think so. But it was so weird because we both felt it. We saw things shaking. Like, it was so fucking weird. Another little mini story before I get to the funniest part of all was another time I smoked with my friend Cody. So we're sitting in his car and like the radio's on and I was talking to him and I was like, I'm like really hungry right now, because you know when you smoke you get the munchies. Oh my god, so crazy. I used to get really hungry when I smoked, like, oh my god. I don't know how people smoke all the time and don't get like fucking huge, because I was a black hole. You could literally pile food into my mouth and I would still be fucking hungry. And so the radio, like right after I said I'm so hungry, the radio was like, are you hungry? I'm not even fucking kidding you. And like, it was definitely like a coincidence. It was definitely a commercial for something, but that was fucking weird. Like, I remember being like, okay, we need to get the fuck out of here. You have to understand, every time I smoked, something weird would happen. Anyone who smoked with me knew like something weird would happen if we all smoked together. So the last story, that is a funny story. We were all smoking. I was with my ex-boyfriend, his friend, and my best friend from the first story, and we were all in the kids' basement, and we had just smoked and we were all down there, and I was eating like Oreos, crackers. I probably honestly ate a box of Oreos, a box of cookies, and a box of crackers in one fucking sitting, and I was still hungry. So I went upstairs and I was like, I'm still hungry, like where's his fucking snacks? I was crazy. And I was like 120 pounds when this happened. I wasn't fat. So I go in his cabinet and I find this chocolate. The chocolate says cooking chocolate on it. So I knew right away that this chocolate was not like gonna be eating chocolate. It was like for cooking, so it was unsweetened. And so I had this brilliant plan to prank my friends downstairs. And so I tell them all to come upstairs. I'm like, you guys, I found this really good chocolate, come upstairs. And so they came upstairs and I was like, you have to try it, like it's so good. So I broke off a chunk of it and gave it to each one of my friends, and they were like chewing on it and they're like, yeah, this is really good, this is really good. And I'm sitting there and thinking to myself, I'm like, that's not fucking real chocolate. So I go, oh, that's really good? Really? Because it doesn't have any flavor, it's cooking chocolate. And they were all like, oh my god. And like, I'll never forget the looks on their faces when they realized it was fake chocolate, and they were like spitting it all over the place. It was so funny. Then the last story, my friends and these other two kids, we were all in the car and we were like in the woods in this like pull-in parking lot, and we were all smoking, and the cops pull in, like a cop pulls in, and we were like, shit. And so the kid in the front seat eats the weed, eats it. And the cop is like, are you guys smoking in here? I can smell it. And everyone was like, no, we don't have any weed. And then he looks right at the kid who ate the weed and he goes, where is the weed? I know you have weed. And he goes,
honestly, sir, I just ate it.
The cop was like,
are you kidding me?
and so I think that he was like, get the fuck out of here. You guys are idiots. And he just let us go. The cops in my town were actually weirdly cool. Like, they didn't care. They were just like, you guys are just being crazy kids, just like everyone else used to be who's a cop now. Like, I know a lot of kids from my grid that are cops, and well, they're not kids anymore, but a lot of guys from my year in high school that are cops now. And I'm like, I used to be at parties with you underage drinking, so it's kind of funny that they're busting kids now for underage drinking and smoking pot when I've seen them do the same thing. But that's for every cop, and it doesn't make it any more legal. It's just kind of ironic and funny. So I hope you guys enjoyed these quick little high stories. But yeah, don't follow me as an example. These are just my funny stories. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any more video requests, please leave them in the comments, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye!